Do you know where the secret to strengthening your marital relationships lies? Are you ready to learn how the Prophet Muhammad treated his wives with such kindness? This video will introduce you to aspects of his life that you might never have considered. How can a small action not only strengthen your marital bond but also earn Allah's pleasure? Can obedience to a husband truly be more important than voluntary worship? And is it possible for a wife to genuinely care about her husband's finances? To find answers to these questions and much more, watch this video till the end. It is not just an informative video but will also provide guidance for your life. Once, the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, was staying at the house of Sauda, RA, on her turn. Aisha, RA, prepared a sweet dish for the Prophet, PBUH, and brought it to Sauda's house, placing it before the Prophet, PBUH, while Sauda was present. Aisha urged Sauda to eat it, but Sauda felt it was inappropriate to bring food on her day when the Prophet, PBUH, was at her house. Therefore, Sauda refused to eat. Aisha insisted that Sauda eat, or else she would smear the sweet on Sauda's face. Sauda refused, so Aisha smeared some of the sweet on Sauda's face. Sauda complained to the Prophet, PBUH, saying that Aisha had smeared sweet on her face. The Prophet, PBUH, replied that the Quran mentions, "If someone treats you badly, you may treat them similarly. Therefore, if Aisha smeared sweet on your face, you may do the same to her." Consequently, Sauda smeared some sweet on Aisha's face as well. Both had sweet on their faces, and this was happening in the presence of the Prophet, PBUH. At that moment, there was a knock at the door. When asked who it was found that Umar Farooq, RA, had arrived. Perhaps at that time, the rules of hijab had not yet been established. When the Prophet, PBUH, heard that Umar was arriving, he said, "Both of you should quickly wash your faces." So they went and washed their faces. The one whose every moment is in direct connection with Allah, whose every moment involves conversation with Allah, and who receives divine revelation with a status that no one else on earth can attain, still showed such courtesy and care towards his wives. We often use the term presence casually, but if someone truly experienced it, they would understand its essence. Our predecessors used to say that sometimes the awareness of being in the presence of Allah is so profound that some of Allah's servants cannot sleep with their legs spread out because they are constantly aware of Allah's presence. Just as one cannot lay with legs spread in the presence of a significant person, the awareness of Allah's presence can be so intense that one cannot lay with legs spread. Thus, a person with such a profound sense of a presence, as no one else can have, still engages in playful behavior with his wives. Such a status can only be attained by a prophet. Nevertheless, since Allah has made men the protectors, the final decision rests with them. However, you can give your opinions and advice. We have also instructed men to consider your comfort as much as possible, but the final decision will remain theirs. If this understanding is not present, and the wife desires to make every decision and the husband not be the protector, then this situation is against nature, Sharia, reason, and justice, and it will lead only to the ruin of the household. Imam Nawawi, RA, further stated, "What is the duty of righteous women? Righteous women are those who are obedient to Allah, fulfill the rights Allah has imposed on their husbands, and protect the husband's house in his absence. This is a mandatory quality Allah has given to women. It is their duty to protect the house when the husband is not present. This means that she should first protect herself from sin and safeguard her husband's wealth. The protection of her husband's wealth is her responsibility. As stated in a hadith, a woman is the guardian of her husband's house. This means that the protection of the household and its wealth is the woman's responsibility. As mentioned, it is not obligatory for a woman to cook, but the protection of the household and ensuring that the wealth is not wasted is mandated by the Quran. While it is true that a woman is not legally required to cook, similarly, if she falls ill, it is not legally required for the husband to provide her treatment or expenses for treatment. It is also not required for the husband to take her to visit her parents. The scholars have even stated that the husband is not obliged to host her parents for more than 1 day a week. If life were to be lived strictly according to legal obligations, the household would be in ruin. Life works best when both husband and wife go beyond legalities and follow the Sunnah of the Prophet, PBUH. The wife should follow the Sunnah of the Prophet's wives. A wife should genuinely care about her husband's money, ensuring that it is not spent wastefully. If a wife allows her husband's money to be spent frivolously or neglects the household, she is violating legal duties. Such a woman will face the curse of angels. Abu Huraira, R.A., reported that the Prophet, PBUH, said, "When a man calls his wife to his bed, and this refers to intimate relations, and she refuses or behaves in a way that does not fulfill his desire, the angels curse her all night until morning." This curse means that she will be deprived of Allah's mercy. The purpose of outlining these rights is to ensure the relationship between the husband and wife is correct, and an essential part of this relationship is that the wife provides her husband with chastity. Marriage's primary purpose is to achieve chastity. After marriage, the husband should not need to look elsewhere. Thus, it is the wife's duty to ensure there is no shortcoming in this regard, otherwise, she will be cursed by the angels. In another hadith, if a woman leaves her husband's bed for the night, the angels continue to curse her until morning. If a woman leaves the house without her husband's permission or desire, she will be under Allah's curse as long as she remains outside. The Prophet, PBUH, detailed all these matters because they are the causes of disputes and discord.